The language that he used was offensive on every level.
First at 9 at 5, emotions boil over at the Matthews Board of Commissioners meeting. A heated debate followed by anti-Semitic and offensive comments spewed by a number of speakers during the public comment period. Now, one commissioner called it Zoom bombing, and now that's when internet trolls hijack a Zoom meeting with disruptive and sometimes vulgar behavior or comments.
Now, officials are trying to determine how they can keep it from happening again.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
What started as a standard Board of Commissioners meeting in Matthews quickly turned ugly with anti-Semitic, homophobic, and racially charged comments by multiple speakers during the public comment period.
I find myself standing with the anti-Semites, with people that most of you would refer to as neo-Nazis.
Much of it too repulsive to air.
I was sick and disgusted. I mean, I felt sick to my stomach. I couldn't believe it at first.
The discussion came up whether these people should be allowed to continue to spout such hateful and offensive language.
The language that he was using was offensive. It was anti-Semitic, it was homophobic, it was transphobic, but most of all, it was disgusting.
It doesn't matter. You're not the one that decides who can speak and who cannot speak.
One of the disruptors argued that same point.
Whenever the government decides what is acceptable and what is not, you're opening yourselves up for a 42 USC 1983 lawsuit, a federal lawsuit for deprivation of civil rights.
But listening to that last clip, were these speakers even people? Listen closely to the sounds in between the speech.
You're opening yourselves up for a 42 USC 1983.
We plugged snippets from each speaker into a program called AI Voice Detector. It determined there was a 97% probability it was AI.
Is this AI?
I have no idea. It never even crossed my mind until just now that it could be AI or something of that effect.
As a constant, we submitted my voice to that same software. The results?
Not as convincing, potentially showing the limitations in detecting who's real and what isn't. But this situation isn't isolated to North Carolina or even the East Coast. Near Portland, Oregon, a city council meeting was infiltrated by similar bad actors using racial slurs, hate speech, and profanity.
Hello, can you hear me?
The speakers even started with the same intro.
To have our children groomed by homosexual Jews.
Okay.
To have our women raped.
Please cut them off too.
With kids in the audience, the Beaverton mayor decided to cut off the ill-intentioned speakers. The speakers in this situation never showed their faces. Matthews Board of Commissioners are planning to have a special meeting before their next official meeting to discuss the best way to handle so-called Zoom bombing in the future. And within the past hour, the town of Matthews released a statement about what happened at the meeting. Mayor Pro Tem Gina Hoover says, "I would have loved to shut it down, but we have to stand by the Constitution and allow them their right to speak. I sincerely apologize to anyone who was affected by this deeply upsetting event."